Good morning, one and all. My name is V. Avijit Kumar, and I am from CSC AIML, that is Computer Science and Engineering, with a specification of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. In this AAT, I am going to present my concept video about the topic motion detector in the subject of elements of electrical and electronics engineering. In this presentation, I am going to explore all the kinds of workings and applications of today's modern motion detectors, which are simply known as the devices that detect movement and trigger actions surrounding them. Now let's discuss about what is a motion detector. A motion detector is nothing but an electronic device which is technically designed to sense movement in its surroundings. It also detects any kind of change in infrared radiation, microwave energy, or a combination of both of them. These kind of detectors, especially, are commonly used in security systems, lighting control, and all other kinds of various applications where the detection of movement is completely necessary. Now, by coming to the next slide, let's discuss about how do these kind of motion detectors generally work. The first step they all do, as we all know, is that they do the detection. Most of the detectors have an ability to capture any kind of change around them in infrared radiation or microwave energy, which is caused by any kind of movement around them within their field or their view. The second step they all do is that they do the signal processing. Any kind of captured signal is generally processed within only and only to identify the true movement and differentiate it from the background noise or the static objects which generally don't move. And the third step they do is activation. When any kind of genuine movement or any kind of true movement happens in their view, they get activated, which means that they receive a signal of movement and they ring an alarm or they start a lightning or any kind of signal is seen. Now by coming to this slide, let's discuss about the types of motion detectors. The first type is passive infrared sensors, or it has an abbreviation PIR. These kind of sensors or these kind of detectors are the most common. They sense infrared radiation which is emitted by warm objects like humans or any other creatures. The second type of these detectors are microwave sensors. These kind of sensors or these kinds of detectors generally use microwaves to detect any kind of movement. They work regardless of temperature differences. But another issue will be that they are less precise when compared to the remaining types of motion detectors. By coming to the third type is dual technology sensors. These are generally a combination of passive infrared sensors or PIRs and microwave sensors. They are even more accurate when compared to these two types of motion detectors. Now let's talk about passive infrared sensors or PIR sensors. Let's talk about how do these kind of sensors work. These kind of sensors generally measure the amount of any infrared radiation which is detected in their field or view. They identify the movement which is detected, and by detecting changes in the amount of infrared radiation, they emit a signal to us. These kind of sensors have an advantage that they are cost effective and they have very low power consumption, and they are very relatively easy to install in our softwares. So this is the first type of the detector, the motion detector. Now by coming to the next type of motion detectors, which are microwave sensors. As we have discussed before, these kind of sensors or these kind of detectors generally emit radio waves, and they detect changes in the refracted waves which are generally or typically caused by any kind of movement in their coverage area or their view. These kind of sensors have an advantage with them. These kind of sensors are the most reliable in adverse weather conditions, be the condition be rain, be it fog, be it monsoon, or any other season. These are even more reliable when compared to PIR sensors. So, this is the explanation of microwave sensors. Now let's talk about the next type of motion detectors, which are dual technology sensors, as we have discussed before. These sensors in general have an increased rate of accuracy, and by combining PIR and microwave technology, it provides a greater accuracy and even more efficient accuracy and reliability in identifying any kind of movement in surroundings. These type of sensors have an enhanced detection capability. Dual technology sensors can detect any kind of movement in an even more wider range of conditions and environments. These kind of detectors have a reduced amount of false alarm rate. By utilizing two of the detection methods, these dual technology sensors have even more lesser rate of false alarms which are triggered by environmental factors. Now let's talk about how can we apply these kind of motion detectors in our day-to-day lives. The first application, as we all know, is home security systems. These kind of motion detectors are a crucial component of home security systems, and by triggering alarms when unauthorized entry is detected, we can be even more alert about that movement or about that unauthorized entry. So, it helps us to protect ourselves in the matter of security. And the next advantage is that they have a lighting control. These kind of motion detectors or any kind of motion detectors are generally used to automate lighting, turning on lights when someone enters a room and off when they leave. These kind of motion detectors have a lot of commercial applications. These motion detectors can find applications in stores, warehouses, factories, and any other commercial spaces for security purposes, for monitoring purposes, and for even more greater efficient energy purposes. So, these are the applications of motion detectors. Now let's talk about home security systems. The first point we must know about home security systems is that motion detectors detect an unauthorized entry, triggering alarms or alerting homeowners or a security personnel, as we have discussed earlier. And the second point is deterrent effect. The presence of motion detectors serves a deterrent against potential intruders reducing the likelihood of break-ins. And these provide an enhanced safety. So these are the things we must know, or most of us already know, about home security systems. Now let's talk about lighting control. The motion detectors generally help to conserve energy by automatically turning off lights when no one is present in a room, and this is generally referred as energy efficiency. Many kind of motion detectors provide convenience by eliminating the need of manually turning any switches on and off, and this is the convenience we all have if we have such kind of detectors. And these kind of detectors ensure a lot of safety and security for us in case of any emergency. Now I'm going to conclude that this topic, the topic of motion detectors, is one of the greatest topics given to me by the respected lecturers, the respected professors, and the respected management. I would like to thank all of the management for giving me this wonderful opportunity to talk about this wonderful topic. Thank you.